Welcome back to another episode of Tech Takes. I'm your host, Breon Martin, and we're going to be talking about a major global issue, climate change. And joining us here is Shannon Yee.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, Breon.
Thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your work?
Sure. So my work focuses on developing scalable thermal energy technologies, where we look at developing ways of converting heat to electricity or electricity to cooling. And we try to take fundamental processes and scale those all the way up to addressing large global problems like climate change.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the research you do here at Georgia Tech?
So my lab focuses on how we can transform fundamental discoveries into applied technologies. One of the challenges we have with climate change is how we heat and cool. It's specifically important to the Southeast. We have pretty humid and hot summers down here, and so air conditioning and refrigeration is really key. We don't think about it, but the refrigerant molecules that leak out of our air conditioners and our refrigerators have a much larger global warming potential than CO2. And so I think a lot of those technologies that touch us, even our toilets, those are some of the things that we have to look at and see how they affect the global sustainability and climate change scales.
And you talked a little bit about the innovations that you're working on through climate change. How does your work tie in? How would you say?
So I look at myself as kind of an engineer, right? And I like inventing new technologies. But I've also learned that the technologies are not enough. We have to look at the policies. We have to look at the business. We have to be able to share these technologies with people all around the world. To do that, we need a platform. We need a stage. We need to be able to give people access to these so they can experience them. And so one thing I'm really excited about and really proud of is Georgia Tech being a core partner of the New York Climate Exchange, where we're coming together as a multi-university collaboration to be able to develop a climate solutions center where we can come together as higher ed and industry and figure out how can we address this grand global challenge.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the exchange at Georgia Tech?
Sure. So the exchange at Georgia Tech is kind of our spoke to a hub in New York City known as the New York Climate Exchange. We call it the Exchange for short. And the exchange at Georgia Tech is the satellite office for the Southeast, right? This is to help us at Georgia Tech, in Atlanta, in the state of Georgia, and in the Southeast region, where we're exchanging best practices. It's not only going to be in the technologies that our engineers and scientists are creating, but it's also going to be in the public policy that we're exploring. It's going to be in the businesses that we're able to develop, right? It's going to be even in our humanities that allow us to answer some of the hard ethical questions that we have to when we look at some of the climate change technologies that we're inventing. So this concept of an exchange is really, truly a global collaboration where we're based upon the hypothesis that collaboration works.
What are your hopes for the future when it comes to climate change and sustainability?
My hopes really are around people, right? I think this is a tremendous opportunity for people to collaborate, to come together, to work with one another in addressing some really large challenges. Ultimately, a lot of these challenges present a tremendous opportunity for economic development, and that economic development results in jobs for people, a quality of life. It really comes down to improving the human condition, so living Georgia Tech's mission. And so my hopes for how we address climate change is a way for bringing people together under the umbrella of collaboration.
Thank you, Shannon. And thank you all for watching our latest episode of Tech Takes. For more videos like this one, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Georgia Tech Research.